Hi, GenderqueerChat, it's Callie here, coming to you from the blanket fort in my living room. I've been away for the past week, and when I came back, my flatmate had built this blanket fort. Can you believe it? It's so cool. I love blanket. That's my couch behind me. It's one of the walls of the blanket fort. Can you believe how amazing this is? I love it. I've been in here all afternoon. And now it's evening, as you may be able to tell by the lighting. I'm not quite sure how to get this lighting right. Is that better or worse? So yeah, I'm in a blanket fort, which is pretty cool. And we have a change of personnel here on GenderqueerChat this week. We are saying goodbye to Stefan for the moment, and we're seeing so goodbye Stefan, who's been on the channel since the very beginning. So sorry to see Stefan go. But we've now got Segflup moving to Monday, which is going to be really good, and Cole moving to Wednesday. So yeah, it's really good. Welcome Cole to being full time on the channel, and that takes care of that housekeeping. So now I can start with the topic, which is entitlement, and I find it quite difficult to work out what to say. This is one of the downsides of being Saturday, is that by the time it gets this part of the week, people who are generally and less and seem to know more about what they want to say, have already had their say on the thing, and I really enjoyed what other people have said this week about this topic. So here's what I want to say, and that is that obviously this is what Cole was saying, is that we are entitled, a person this is kind of built off of what Cole was saying, is that a person is entitled to a certain amount of self-determination, right? To marry and share benefits with whoever they want, to express their gender in whatever way they want, and to identify their gender in whatever way they want. I saw an excellent internet graphic that encapsulated this. It was a pie chart which was all one colour, and the pie chart was titled "People Who Can Define Your Gender and Sexuality," and the pie chart was all red, and the key to the pie chart was red square with "you" written next to it. You can define your gender and sexuality, and you only. And doesn't mean you can't have help from other people, and you can't, which is what GenderqueerChat is really here for, to talk about how we're doing this ourselves and kind of learn from each other and everything, which is it's kind of our purpose. But ultimately it's up to you, and you're entitled to this amount of self-determination to live in the way you want, as long as it doesn't adversely affect, as long as it doesn't adversely affect the being of people who are not you, and it doesn't impinge on their expressing on the things they're entitled to in terms of self-determination. So yeah, but I was kind of like constructing that in my head and thinking, yeah, okay, so that's how it is, but I also find myself, and that's kind of par for the course, that just kind of once you accept that everybody is entitled to their own self-determination, which is kind of relatively basic, hopefully, then you can start, then you kind of build this thing of everybody gets their own self-determination, so obviously you won't impinge on other people, but I want a little bit more, and that is, I find myself kind of aesthetically attracted to the idea of not just tolerance, but kind of tolerance plus. I am aesthetically, attracted to difference and queerness, you know, and so I, in my kind of life, like being around people who are different in any way, especially people who are queer in any way, and just kind of, you know, I feel like in my interactions with people I reward difference and reward queerness, and I think that not that I like, not in the sort of way that I would say to people who are not queer and are not different, that I would like say, you should be queer, you should be different, because that's just ridiculous. But like I encourage people who I meet, and I act positively, especially positively. I make an effort to act positively to people who, like me, who, like I have been and like I am, are trying to kind of carve out a different way of being in this little square that we're entitled to. And I feel like, not that we should push beyond what we're entitled to, but we should kind of give people more space than just what they're entitled to by the right to self-determination. And that we should, it's not about just promoting yourself and taking what you're entitled to. You like help people into more of their not that you like draw people out and kind of, because that seems really patronising, you know, that you kind of show them who they are, but you give people as much space as you possibly can, not just the little square of being that they're entitled to, but you give people as much space as you can, and that's how it's got to work. Everybody kind of respects each other as much as possible and gives people as much space to be who they want to be, is as accepting and bleeding heart as possible. You know, you have to be so accepting that it hurts. You have to strip away layers and layers, and it's so difficult to do this, but strip away layers and layers of prejudice, and I'm always finding myself discovering that I have prejudices that I didn't think I had. That I think, oh, all people who are this are like this, which they're not, ever. You have to give people the maximum of possible space to develop themselves and become the kind of people that they want to become. So that's what I have to say about this. Beyond what we're entitled to, tolerance plus is the kind of philosophy that I espouse there. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for this week, and no point in rambling on. Yep, see you next Saturday.